so what trends are you seeing in global supply chain, last mile, which is, there's getting a lot of chatter regarding last mile these days. And is this whole chatter about Shipageddon, is this a real thing, or is it all hype?
Okay, so within the last mile, well, let me back up. We've seen a rise in e-commerce. You know, a lot of it, I mean, it was already increasing, but when COVID hit, you know, we were all locked down, couldn't leave the house. However, those online orders, e-commerce, they've created a mess for UPS and FedEx in that all of this stuff is going to residential locations. Residential deliveries for UPS and FedEx, as well as the post office, they're expensive. You think about it, they have to drive up the driveway, get out, walk to the front door, drop the package, ring the doorbell, wait, or just leave the package. It takes up a lot of time. And so hence it's a lot of, there's a lot of cost involved, not to mention the wear and tear of the package cars and the fuel involved. So this is why you see UPS and FedEx encouraging us to drop off or pick up our items at a UPS store, a FedEx store, a Michael's, one of their retail partners, because if they can get them all in one central location, that's a less expensive pickup or drop off for them. So we see the increases in cost for them to make these deliveries, and the capacity's been tight since March. So yeah, Shippagedon, it's a real thing.
Oh,
it's a real thing.
Bummer.
I mean, I was writing on this back in August, trying to warn retailers, if you have not talked to your last mile provider, you better start talking now, because they're not going to have enough space on those little package cars. They flat out will not, because there is a finite amount of space. So yeah, and there's still quite a few shippers that are struggling.
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought that so I noticed, for example, when Amazon developed a partnership with Kohls to like drop off or pick up packages at Kohls, I thought the whole strategy was just to get me into a Kohls. I didn't even think about centralizing the deliveries in one place, but I think that's smart to do so.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Kohls agreed to this because they want you to go into their stores. That's been a huge problem for them, is they're losing that foot traffic in their retail stores. Their e-commerce sales have been increasing. They've been doing a great job, and they've been closing a lot of their stores because it's all about e-commerce. And so those new ones that they have been opening have been smaller, or else they've been leasing space to other retailers. So I read somewhere where they're actually leasing space to Aldi's. So, you know, while you pick up a shirt or a pair of pants, you can just pick up some groceries on your way out as well through Aldi's. So they're doing a number of different things like that. But yeah, they do want you in that store, and that's
okay.
The main reason why they partner with Amazon. Amazon doesn't have a physical location other than their Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for them to partner with a storefront retailer like Kohls. It's cheaper for them, you know, for the returns and such, to be one location. So that's also why you've seen Optaro and Staples partnering together. You've seen, I think, what was it, just this past week, Happy Returns and FedEx Store partnering up as well. Yeah, it's all to drive a single location, you know, point of returns.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't realize that was happening. And a lot of this talk around Shippagedon is in prep for the holidays and Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Is this going to be way less of an issue after the holidays? Is this going to go away?
Well, that's a big question. I mean, you know, that everybody's wondering that. Okay, so January is traditionally the month of returns. So you get your package, you get your Christmas presents. You don't like half of them, you normally return them in January. Uh, so as far as that month goes, capacity is still going to be a problem. Okay. After that, it's going to depend a lot on the vaccine. If we have a vaccine ready in time, capacity is going to still be a problem. It's going to be a major problem. Uh, it's I personally think there will be problems because e-commerce is here. So many of us have embraced it more and more now. Uh, I don't think it will be as bad, as much of a concern as it is now, but it's going to be still relatively tight.
Yeah, it's going to be hanging on a little bit longer than we'd like.
Yeah.
A lot of the stories that I hear are in reference to what I would call like the mega retailers and hearing about their supply chains. What about small businesses? Are they at an advantage, a disadvantage? Are they being left behind? What's the difference between large retailers and the small businesses?
Well, the beauty for small businesses, I mean, the majority of our economy, we depend on these small businesses. They are so terribly important. So we need to keep them going. We've seen the rise of a lot of platforms, online platforms, for them to operate on. Shopify is a big one. A lot of them have embraced going on to a Shopify or even just building their own web presence. And the technology tools that are available today are such that they're lower cost for these smaller players, and it helps level the playing field uh, to compete against the Walmarts, the Nordstroms, the Kohls, and so on. So they can compete online with these other players, I think, uh, on par with no problem. And again, there are those online platforms that a lot of folks just starting off may want to utilize. Shopify, supposedly there's discounts on shipping and such as that from the FedExes and the UPSs of the world. Uh, if you want to use Amazon, there's a lot of pluses using Amazon as well. So, as well as Walmart's marketplace. Why not? Why not? And you could also build a store on eBay as well. So there's a lot of options for small businesses, which I think is fantastic. Yeah. 10 years ago, you would not have seen this many options for them.
Yeah, it's all omni-channel nowadays.
Exactly.
Awesome. So one final question for you is, so knowing all of this, what advice do you have for e-commerce companies? I know you talked a little bit about talking to your last mile provider. Is there anything else brands should be doing to prepare or better manage issues? What advice do you give them?
When it comes to the last mile, you need to start planning. Really, you should be planning for the Christmas holiday season beginning in January. So
next year's Christmas.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And also determine, okay, so we all love free shipping. Free shipping is awesome. But someone's paying for that free shipping, and it's the retailer. So they need to sit down, review their invoices, their shipping invoices, either work directly with a UPS or a FedEx, or work with a consulting firm. I'm a little partial to the third-party consulting firms because they are impartial, and they're not going to sit there and say, you must stay with us all the time. No. So review those invoices, see where you may not need second day air, okay, air service. Maybe you could get away with using a just trucking, ground trucking or something like that. So review the different service levels. Also, never, ever rely on just one shipping partner. Always have at least two. So don't always depend on UPS, even though I do love UPS. You know, FedEx is also good. Use them both.
Hmm.
You know, have that that net just in case, because big lesson learned for a lot of shippers was back in the 90s when uh, UPS, the ground division went on strike. And there's a lot of shippers that have not forgotten that. And
Never
they have,
forget. I can see the slogan already.
exactly, they have not forgiven. In fact, quite a few uh, totally wrote off UPS and refuses to use UPS still because of that strike. So, and FedEx really came into their own at that time. They gained a lot of new customers, but they're different and they need to be used together. Don't write off the post office either. They've got a lot of issues going on, but they're going to deliver this year. I mean, they'll be fine this year. People are worried. I have family members. They're like, should I, should I not use them? I'm like, no, use them, please use them, because there's going to be delays this year. There will be delays, regardless of who you use. But yeah, use as many options as you can for that last mile delivery. If you are a storefront, you BOPIS and curbside. Those are great. Those are great, but they should not be your only options, because I think consumers such as us, we want options. We want to know that if we wanted to, we can come pick it up at the store, or we can drop something off at the store. We can just swing by, or if I need it like today, I can pay to have same day delivery. So you've got Target that offers that. You have Bed Bath and Beyond offering that now. You've got a growing number of retailers offering that as an option. So the more options you can provide, the better. But don't stray from your invoice. Manage your financials. If you can't afford it, don't do it. If you can't afford free deliveries, there's options for that. Set a limit, like spend $35, get free delivery,
Mm-hmm.
or some other type of option. So
Yeah, that's great.
creativity. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for that advice. This is all great, and I can't wait to share some of your feedback and quotes.
Well, ping me and I'll share
Oh,
it.
I will do. I will do. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and I'm so glad I get to like meet you virtually and not just on Twitter. So I thank you.
Great. I love it.